story you are about to hear may leave you in tears. Barron Trump, his head buried in the hood of his jacket, was filled with memories of the past. He had grown up in his father's shadow, attended private schools, and had almost everything the world could offer. But some memories were far more valuable than the material things he possessed. As he was about to enter the cafe at the corner, his eyes were caught by something. Under the streetlight, a man in tattered clothes was sitting. A few coins were scattered in front of him on a piece of cardboard. He was rubbing his hands together, trying to warm them up, but the expression on his face pierced Barron's heart like a knife. He recognized this man. For a moment, he thought he might be mistaken, but no. Although the man's face had aged and his beard had grown, this was definitely Mr. Anderson, his favorite teacher from elementary school, the man who had guided him during his lonely and introverted years, helping him see life from a different perspective. "Mr. Anderson?" Barron whispered, unable to believe his eyes. The man slowly lifted his head, squinting his eyes, and for a moment, he stared at Barron carefully. Then his expression shifted between shock and sadness. "Is it you, Barron?" he said in a low voice. Barron immediately knelt down and sat beside his old teacher. "Yes, it's me." "Mr. Anderson, what are you doing here? What happened to you?" Mr. Anderson lowered his head in shame. The fragility in his voice broke Barron's heart. "Life doesn't always go as planned, Barron," he said with a bitter smile. "My wife got sick. I sold everything I had to pay for her treatment. After a while, I lost my job, and then I lost my home too." Barron felt as though he had been punched in the gut. This man had not only taught him math, he had taught him the logic of life, how to be patient, and that nothing was impossible. And now, he had become someone nobody noticed. "Why didn't anyone help you?" Barron asked, his voice trembling. Mr. Anderson shrugged. "People clap for you when you're on top, but when you fall, they turn their backs, son. But what hurts the most is being forgotten." These words pierced Barron's soul. This man had always been a light to him. Now, leaving him in the dark wasn't an option. "Come with me," Barron said, his voice firm. Mr. Anderson shook his head. "No, Barron, I don't ask for charity from anyone. But if you really want to help me one day, do something that will bring me back to who I used to be." Barron paused for a moment. Then he took out his wallet, but didn't give him money. Instead, he pulled out an old business card. "You were a teacher, Mr. Anderson, and you still are," Barron said as he handed over the card. "This is the card of a school principal I know. I'll arrange a meeting with him tomorrow morning." Mr. Anderson's eyes filled with tears. For the first time in years, a spark of hope was growing inside him. "Really?" he whispered. Barron smiled. "You changed my life. Now, it's my turn." The next morning, Mr. Anderson was no longer on the street. Barron had arranged for him to stay in a warm hotel room and had set up a meeting for the following day. A few weeks later, Mr. Anderson was teaching at a new school. Sometimes, even the smallest act of kindness can change a person's life. And Barron had never forgotten the one who had done him a kindness.